Hello and welcome to INE. The title of this course is Hybrid Cloud Computing with VMware vCloud Air. My name is Atindra Chaturvedi and I will be your instructor for this course. I have some VMware certifications. I have the Advanced Professional certification in Virtual Data Center Design using VMware products. I also have the Data Center Administration Advanced Professional certification that actually is very useful because it goes beyond the graphical user interface kind of activities that we normally see, and it's about sitting down at a console or at a laptop and actually administrating all aspects of the virtual data center. I'm also Cisco certified currently, Cisco certified network professional in data center and routing and switching. The CCNP data center has been really useful for me because it gives me a really deep understanding of the physical products that are available, and of course much of it would be Cisco, but certainly it bleeds over to other vendors as well. So knowing what the physical infrastructure design would look like is certainly comes in handy when you do the virtual data center design. And of course, in this day and age of cloud computing, which is the subject of this course, the CCNP routing and switching comes in handy because there's so much networking involved. It's less switching, it's more routing, obviously. And my knowledge there really has helped me in developing courses as well as in my professional activities. I'm also VCP certified in network virtualization, which is the VMware NSX network virtualization product, and I really love that product because that's where I can use all my routing and switching knowledge as well as my data center knowledge in putting together and designing excellent virtual data centers. So all the previous certifications that I had really come together when we work on network virtualization. And of course the cloud is has certified me in or VCP Cloud has certified me in the vCloud Director product, which, as we will see in this course, is really the product that is behind the interface that you see with the VMware vCloud Air offering. So let's look at some of the course prerequisites and assumptions. Uh, it's really important to make sure that this is the course that you want to take and spend time on. I will talk about why I created this course. I always get asked this question: is this course been designed only for Cisco engineers? Because it's an INE course. So we'll talk a bit about that. The level of knowledge, Cisco and VMware is obviously important because we want to make sure that this is taught at the right level. We'll talk a little bit about cloud computing and hybrid cloud computing, although I'm sure that all of you are completely familiar with hybrid cloud computing and multi-cloud computing as network professionals. So why did I create this course? The vCloud Air offering from VMware is, of course, a cloud offering. So one could say it's like the Google Cloud, the Amazon Cloud, and all the other clouds that are out there. The significant point about vCloud Air is that it's based on VMware products, so that if you have a private data center or a on-premise data center running VMware products, it is relatively easy for you then in a vCloud Air environment to actually transfer all that workload over to the VMware Cloud or Air. And the way that actually works has been made quite transparent using products which we will cover in this course, called vCloud Connector and other kinds of offerings on the Air platform. So cloud computing from a VMware perspective, the one of the products that they have out there is, of course, the Air offering, and we'll go into some details about that because there are about maybe 15-20 different offerings. We'll talk about the hybrid cloud and the multi-cloud extensively, but again, what it really means is that you have an on-premises data center and you have a cloud data center, in this case an air data center. Multi-cloud computing simply means computing across multiple clouds. All that is possible, and we will cover all this in this course. So is this course only for Cisco engineers? I think the answer is no, it's not. It's for anyone that has a requirement from a professional perspective to understand the vCloud Air product. The knowledge that Cisco engineers have in terms of routing, switching, or data center is obviously extremely useful, because it just makes life a lot more easy for them to pick up the additional information that they are actually looking for. In terms of the level of knowledge of Cisco, I think if you have a CCNA or equivalent practical experience in Cisco products, networking, especially routing, less so switching, then I think you are in excellent shape. From a VMware perspective, obviously the knowledge that you have of the basic VMware products such as vCenter, vSphere, and so on comes in handy, but be warned that in this course, or in terms of what is actually visible in the Air product, you really will not see the data centers in vCenter and so on, and there is a reason for that. So while that level of knowledge will be useful, it is not directly applicable if you are going to be working on vCloud Air, because the product that comes in between the virtual infrastructure as defined by vCenter and the clusters and so on that we have on the vSphere side of things, there is a product called vCloud Director that actually comes in between the interface that you are actually exposed to through VMware Air. More on that later, but again, we will not talk about vCenters and vSphere and so on. The focus is at a much higher level, because that is the level of interface that is exposed by vCloud Air. So moving on from this, let's talk a little bit about what we will cover in this course. Our goal in this course is to understand the usage and implementation of VMware vCloud Air in a multi-cloud hybrid cloud environment. Now, what does that mean? So we will actually go through right from the beginning in terms of looking at how to obtain an account on vCloud Air, and then we will get a good understanding of vCloud Air's interface. Once we have done that and we have created a few virtual machines, you'll see how easy it is to do that. Now, that's not where the story ends. In fact, that's where the story actually begins, because to really get the full value out of vCloud Air, there is an alternative interface that actually shows up in the vCloud Air interface, which is where you manage your cloud using vCloud Director. Now, in order to understand vCloud Director, we need to obviously look at a few of the basic offerings that vCloud Director has, and then understand how the vCloud Director capabilities actually shape the vCloud Air offerings that we see. So we will be looking at two interfaces. We will be looking at the vCloud Air interface and all the things we can do with the vCloud Air interface. We will also look at the vCloud Director interface. It is accessible directly from the vCloud Air interface, and we will use the vCloud Director interface to actually do many things as well, such as setting up virtual private networks between clouds, virtual private networks between similar clouds and different vendors' clouds, and so on. So we will go through all that, and the course will be basically looking at a few slides in each section. So I will give you an idea of what it is that we will be covering. We will also then in most cases go into a whiteboarding session where I will lay out for you all the various pieces, connect the dots for you ahead of time, so that when we actually move to the lab, and there are plenty of labs in this course, we will then look at having being able to obtain a really good understanding of what it is that is being discussed. So I will lay the groundwork in the whiteboard session, and then we will summarize at the end of the lab to make sure that we've covered all the topics in that section. One key portion of what we'll be talking about, since this course is about a cloud offering, is networking services. And we will be looking very extensively at the vCloud Air Edge Gateway service, because it is actually implemented using different edge gateway devices, which are basically virtual machines, or uh, the new term for that is Network Functions Virtualization, NFV. So basically what has been done is that there is a software or a virtual machine based networking device that provides load balancing, that provides VPN connectivity, all kinds of activities, and that's done using the Edge Gateway, as it's called. The Edge Gateway, as we will see later, can actually be an Edge Gateway from vCloud, will be a Edge Gateway from vCloud Director, but will actually be instantiated from yet another product behind the scenes, which could either be a slightly older version of VMware's VCNS, which is, I believe, vCloud Networking and Security product, which had edge gateways, or if you have advanced networking, and again we'll talk about all these things very shortly. It can also instantiate edge gateway services. That is, vCloud Air can instantiate edge gateway services based on the NSX network virtualization platform as well. So we will do that as well. So again, to recap, we are going to explore every aspect of the VMware vCloud Air service offering. We will focus on the IaaS, infrastructure as a service offering. I will be using the on-demand offering as the platform which we will use for this course. Behind the scenes, because in order to get a really good understanding of vCloud Air and use it, we will look at vCloud Director, and I will bring in the NSX piece, which is important to know but not really to look at for this course. We will certainly have VPNs implemented, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud. I've already talked about vCloud Air Edge Gateway Services, and we will have plenty of labs. So with this background, I hope you are as excited as I am for this course, because there is a tremendous amount of capability available in the extremely easy to use vCloud Air interface. And then once we delve into the architecture behind vCloud Air and all the various VMware products that are present to provide the vCloud Air service, I think you will gain a real appreciation of the power of the products that VMware has created.